When you hear the words human experiment, your mind probably thinks of some guy being strapped down to a chair against his will, getting poked and prodded and injected with all kinds of drugs. However, this is far from reality. Human experiments actually have very strict guidelines that they have to follow. And despite these guidelines, there's actually big controversy that goes along with it. However, it's actually very beneficial to society as well. Like I said, there are many benefits to human experiments. One of the main benefits is that these experiments provide us with information about the human body. By experimenting on humans, we have a better idea about what certain drugs and medicine do to our bodies. Researchers use clinical trials to determine treatment options and drug dosages. When participants are given a certain drug, that's a possible treatment, it's helping to determine if this drug can treat a disease, treat the symptoms, or just cure it overall. Human experiments not only help improve medical research, they also help improve social research. By observing people and experimenting with them, researchers can determine how something might socially or emotionally affect us. A lot of what we know about the human mind and the brain and how we think and do what we do and act the way we do is done from observing and experimenting on people. One of the main reasons people don't approve of human experimentation is because they do not understand the guidelines that are set in place. Researchers have very strict rules and regulations that they have to follow if they want to conduct experiments on people. Anyone who wants to be a part of an experiment must voluntarily consent. You can't coerce them, you can't make them do something that they don't want to do. They have to decide on their own that this is what they really want to do. They want to be part of an experiment. And they also must be mentally stable enough to decide that this is actually what they want to do. Also, to do research, the pros must outweigh the cons. And this means that the benefits from the experiment must be greater than any risk that might come from it. So if it's going to be a lot greater for society to do this experiment than the risk it might be to the people, then it's all right to do it. And then there's also many people that believe that once you consent to an experiment, anything can be done to you. However, this is not true. Researchers can't just harm you because you volunteer to do this. They have to follow the rules. There's nothing they can do to you to hurt you or harm you in any way or cause pain that occurs more than on a daily basis. Even with all these rules set in place, there's still a lot of controversy surrounding experiments on people. Many people believe human experiments are unethical. They don't believe that humans should be tested on, and it violates all human rights and morals and all kinds of things like that. Another big controversy is if children should be used in experiments, and if they should, what's a good age for them to be in these experiments? Is it right to let a parent decide, or should the child give the consent? Who decides, parent or child? And even though there are many negatives surrounding human experiments, the benefits are a lot greater than the risks. Without experiments, people would be dying at much higher rates than they are today. They also provide us with the knowledge we need to continue and make improvements to our mind and body. So overall, even though through all the negatives and all of history where human experiments have been determined as being bad for society and they shouldn't be done, everything we know about our body and our mind is done because of experiments. So they've actually been a lot more beneficial than a lot of people think that they have been.